Hello. I can't imagine not feeling grief if somebody that I love dies. And yet you seem to be saying, just get over it. Is there a sort of an appropriate amount of grief? It's got to be natural. I mean, if my dog died, I would just be floored.
The perfect amount of grief is none. But you see,
how do you do that? I
mean,
you have your beloved dog there, and then he's not there, and the relationship is different.
We're going to go back and address that specifically, but before we do, we want to catch you in the trap that we've laid for you.
Okay. I'm willing.
You're saying grief just seems inevitable under certain circumstances. And we say, we know that there are things that are going to happen that are going to make you feel that way. But the emotion, the visceral feeling, that feeling in your body of grief or fear or despair, no matter what word you assign to it, in every single case, it is because of your perception that something bad has happened to which you are having this awful emotional response and over which you have no control. And we're just wanting to point out to you that while it is absolutely normal to have knee-jerk responses to those things that are happening, because of course you want that person or that animal to be in your experience longer, you do have the ability to focus your way out of that grief. We would not want to say to anyone, you should not be sad when your mother dies or when your father dies. But we do want to say the reason that you are sad is you've focused yourself in a way that is causing that sadness. And you could just as easily focus yourself in a way that isn't so sad. We watch people around funerals, sometimes focusing in a way that brings them to their knees and makes them wail. And sometimes they focus in a way where the whole room laughs, where they feel joy, even though the circumstances have not changed. And it is that awareness that you can focus yourself, because you see, the fear itself or the negative emotion itself, the reason it feels so awful is without exception because of your perception of loss of control. Think about that. On one end of the emotional scale is love and appreciation. And as you move down the emotional scale, and we mean more resistance, less allowing, from optimism into pessimism, into frustration and overwhelmment, into those vibrations that are even denser of anger and rage and revenge and fear and despair or grief. As you move down or up this emotional scale, the thing that we want you to realize is the better it feels, the more your perception of freedom, the more your perception of being able to feel the way you want to feel. And the worse it feels, it's your perception of something happening out of your control where you are forced to face it and forced to feel it and unable to do anything about it. That is what the emotional scale is all about. And so when we say the appropriate amount of grief is none, what we are really meaning is we want you to know unequivocally, undeniably, in every instance of your life that you have the wherewithal to focus in a way that allows the energy, that passionate energy that you're talking about, to flow.
Thanks.
Yes, indeed.
It's great.
Yes, indeed.